Broadcasting live from the Business RadioX studios in Atlanta, Georgia, it's time for GWBC Radio's Open for Business. Now, here's your host.
Lee Cantor here in for Roz Lewis today, and I am so happy to be doing this GWBC radio show. I got with me Laura Egelhoff, and she is with Carolina's Total Staffing Solutions. Welcome.
Hello, it's great to be here.
Well, before we get too far into things, tell us about Carolina's Total Staffing Solutions. How are you serving folks?
Yes, so we are right now based in Greenville, South Carolina. We are all Georgia peaches, so our outreach is basically all over the Southeast right now. We are a staffing agency, and we specialize in manufacturing industries, as well as the warehouse and clerical positions as well. And we are a family company with over 30 years of experience, and we are, kind of experts at the, remote recruiting. We do a lot with very little resources. And I think one of our best attributes is that, we're a bilingual company. We're certified by the WBENC, and we're super proud of it and proud of our background. Mm-hmm.
So now, how'd you get into the staffing business? You said it was family owned. Was this several generations?
My mom started the company. She's been working on her own, basically as a staffing industry leader, since I would say the beginning of the 2000s. She's worked for major staffing agencies in the past, and she's basically been doing this since I was born. She moved to Atlanta, Georgia in about the late 80s after she graduated high school. She got a job at the World of Coke. My grandmother actually worked for Coke at the time. And then from there, she got a job with a nearby staffing agency. And that's how she kind of basically started. She started, in an entry-level position and fell in love with it, fell in love with the fact that she could help people, get gainful employment and, make ends meet and find their goals, their career goals. And she was also able to communicate and really tap into the labor market for the Hispanic community, the growing Hispanic community at the time, just because she was bilingual. So she kind of bridged the gap with her company then. And from there, found a passion, and I learned that from her. I run CTSS along with my sister. So we all kind of, learned through osmosis from my mother, and she is still a consultant today. So that's where the majority of our experience comes from. We just come from a long line of entrepreneurs as well. After my grandmother left Coke, she opened her own tax firm. And then from there, my aunt has her own tax firm today because my grandmother retired. So, and we still even work in, tandem with each other. My aunt does our taxes and things like that. So it's like a whole family effort of what we do. And we find a passion in helping other families kind of find their own goals. And yeah.
Well, that must be so rewarding to have your family that close and all working together for a common good. That must be wonderful.
It definitely is. There's some growing pains. Like sometimes it feels like you really can't leave, the work mindset. But when it's with your family and, you're able to kind of problem solve together and lean on each other, it makes it that much easier.
Now, in your experience, what makes one staffing agency better than another's? Like, what's the secret sauce of yours?
Well, I don't think one really can be better than what the other. I think it's just about finding your niche. I believe the successful type of recruiting or finding people, because sometimes recruiting can have a negative connotation, like it's kind of like you're removed. It's more about building powerhouse teams. And I think the more you understand the jobs that you are searching for good people, then the better you're able to find a good match. I think making that match is what makes an agency possibly more successful than the other, and also retain great turnover rates, which I think that's one of the best parts about us, is that we're able to maintain a great turnover rate. Just overall the industries, like we don't staff for a whole bunch of different jobs, but right now what's in demand is a lot of manufacturing and packing and distributing and getting from point A to point B. And I think that's where we can really help in finding great people and making them stay there, basically.
So now if your clients need more staff in that area, you've kind of specialized in this and have kind of cracked the code on how to identify and be a good matchmaker and make sure that the fit is right?
Yes. I think it's about adding value to the employment experience. We have a lot of rewards and incentive programs for staying on board. We have new hire kits that we give out, and we acknowledge birthdays. We try to make the experience personalized and not, just collecting a paycheck and going in and packing up boxes and you're out. We do a lot of checking in, and we want to make sure that, they're taken care of and that they're satisfied with everything. All of their questions are answered, and that we're also working to get them from an entry-level role into other areas and it might be that, they get hired on full time, but at least if we can serve as a stepping stone, then I believe we've done our job well.
Now, I would imagine when you take that much care that you might be able to get some referrals from them to tell their friends, and then that might help you fill more positions.
Yes. And it's funny that you say that, because that's actually exactly how we work. We have a lot of people, that came in through referrals, and we actually do have a referral incentive that, we added $20 to their check. If their contact has stayed on working with us for about 2 weeks, just little incentives like that. And as long as, because we're a family-based, company, we know that it can work. But as long as everything is good for the client and good for the employee, then we can really network that way.
Well, let's talk about GWBC for a second. Why was it important for you to get involved with that organization, and how has it worked out for you?
Yes. So one of my mentors, Sarah Webb, she is the CEO of In Tandem Promotions. I still work with In Tandem as well. I worked with them right after college, and that's where I got used to the organization itself and really acclimated with their mission and how they can help small businesses thrive. And so I thought it was a great and happening community that I wanted to make sure that our family business was a part of as well, and to also take advantage of the connections and all the networking events that it can be a part of.
And so far, has it worked out?
Oh, yes, most definitely. I had a baby not too long ago, so I haven't been able to take part of all the things that I want to make sure that we get involved in, but it's definitely been a good first year, I think, of, dipping our toes and everything. And so far, everything has been helpful, all the channels and avenues that I've explored thus far. It's also helped us with government contracting, because we are working with a Georgia-based manufacturing company right now, and leading projects for the future, of course, not right now, at airports and things like that. And it's really helped, just having that certification has helped to leverage our pitch even further.
Now, the name of the company has Carolinas in the name, but you're from Georgia. What are all the states that you serve?
We can serve any other state so far. We have had services in at least 11. We concentrate mostly on the Southeast, but we've also done projects out in California and Oregon and Arizona. But we're able to have satellite offices basically anywhere, just like through our partnerships and the people that we know. and our frequent flyer points as well. My mom has racked up a whole bunch. We can basically service anywhere.
Now, during this corona crisis, are you able to still kind of stay open and serve your clients? Are you still able to kind of connect with potential talent for them and still, do what you need to do?
Absolutely. Yes, we've been fortunate enough to be very flexible and just kind of adapt to each of our clients' needs, whether they need to downsize, whether they need a whole lot of help just for one day, maybe just cleaning things out. It kind of has run the gamut, but we're definitely still open for business. And the great thing about us is that we are this flexible, and we're able to still service and do anything that we could do, even if it was, during normal times.
Now, during the time you've been involved with Carolina Total Staffing Solutions, is there any kind of memorable, maybe an employee story that you were able to help a person, get involved with the company, and maybe they kind of grew and then now they're super successful, or maybe you helped a company solve a big problem?
Yes, we do. So about, I believe it was a year and a half ago, we had a family friend. It was basically a family friend's son who had kind of fallen on the hard times. We hired him on to kind of help us, be like a handyman type of thing as he kind of transitioned back into society. And we just kind of watched him, thrive and slowly grow into his own. And then we kind of, we gave him some tools and resources, like some sales seminars, some literature to kind of study up on, to kind of be moving into more of a business developing role. And he now actually works for a client of ours because he was great at sales, but also, and he helped us land about 3 local contracts. So it was really awesome for him. And but we also noticed that he's more of like, the hands-on type. So like a maintenance driven. So we actually found a role that was perfect for him. And now he's like a lead operation installer for this client. And he has just really taken a whole 180 from where he was a year and a half ago to now. And, today he's very clean cut, very well spoken, and you just wouldn't even think that he had gone through those times before. And he kind of became our Be the Change model, and that's our Be the Change initiative that we call. Paul, that's his name, and he's our greatest success story. That's who the story is about. But we always try to reach out to all of our employees and just checking in, making sure they're doing good, and to kind of see where their skills lie and try to advance those as much as possible, and keep an eye out for, positions that, we could recommend them to as well. So it was a really rewarding thing to experience him getting hired on full time and, being a great asset to our clients team. So I think that's our major success story. And we hope to mold like a whole bunch of stories like this. And he's also such a great friend of ours too. So it's not just, doing our job, but it becomes part of you as well and a part of your life.
Now, let's talk about the Be the Change initiative. That's a great example of how you can help really change someone's life and put them on a whole new trajectory by taking a risk and then giving them an opportunity. But ultimately, they have to do the hard work and show up and be reliable and thrive. So talk about the Be the Change initiative in terms of what you hope it to become.
Yes. So when my mom had the crazy idea of going out on her own and everything, it was very close to the major recession, that we remember from 2008 to 2009. And I remember a lot of people just thought, that she might be just a little crazy, of thinking what good can come from starting a business or being self-employed right now during this uncertain time. And during that time, us as a family, we weren't doing that great either. We definitely know how it feels, not really knowing where your next meal comes from, and especially coming from a big family and having a lot of mouths to feed. So we know that problem very intimately well. So we always remember that struggle, and we remember that it was the kindness of other people that kind of helped us, kind of move past that point and build to a brighter future. So that's what we want to do for families, and not only, locally here in Atlanta, Georgia, or Greenville, South Carolina, but we do a lot of effort in the South American countries like Argentina, Dominican Republic, and we're from Puerto Rico. And so we also have a lot of relief and disaster efforts happening in Puerto Rico as well, especially after the hurricanes. In 2017, there was Hurricane Maria that ravaged the entire island. My family and my mother did a lot to make sure that a lot of our proceeds went to restoring houses and helping group homes, with children and foster children, making sure that they had meals and everything like that. It's just every little bit of effort that we could do, we did. And we still do to this day, especially in Argentina. So that's our Be the Change from the Mahatma Gandhi quote, be the change that you wish to see in the world. That's definitely how we model ourselves after, and we want our actions to speak, and we want to kind of step in the gaps for people who need help when we can.
Well, Laura, amazing work that you're doing, and really being a role model to others about how to handle a crisis is be the change that you want to see in the world. Kudos to you for that. That is a wonderful example for others to follow. If somebody wanted to learn more about Carolina's Total Staffing Solutions, is there a website?
Yes, you can visit carolinastss.com, and that's Carolinas with an S at the end, TSS.com. It stands for Total Staffing Solutions. You can connect with us on social media, CarolinaCTSS.com, and Instagram. We're on LinkedIn and Twitter. We try to keep up with everything and be like the cool kids. But send us a message and we'll definitely reply as soon as possible.
Good stuff. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story today.
Thank you. Thank you for definitely having me and the resources that you give to other women small businesses.
Well, it's our pleasure. This is Lee Cantor. We will see you all next time on GWBC Radio.